Hi everyone. It has been a few days since I last did a Corona Chronicles, and so I thought I'd tune in and do one today. And actually, I feel like I'm having a really good hair day, and I finally washed my hair after a few days of being at home and not washing it. I don't know about y'all, but I would say like my eyebrows as well. Being at home, not really on top of it, don't really care. And speaking of not caring, right behind me right now, I have a pile of laundry and I haven't gotten to that either. But anyways, I was having a good hair day and I thought I'm gonna do a Corona Chronicles. So I hope you've all been hanging in there over the last while. The weekend that just passed, I just did a post about this, how I'm riding an emotional roller coaster. Some days I'm okay, like right now I feel pretty good. On the weekend I cried several times, and so I'm just ebbing and flowing, and I think that's the best that most of us can do. We just be in the moment, be present. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to enjoy and laugh and giggle and do your thing, do that too. Being present and being true to how we are authentically feeling is everything in any moment, let alone a moment like right now. One of the things I have observed, though, that I wanted to talk about today is how OMG, the number of phone calls, video calls, and webinars I have been doing over the last almost 2 weeks now, but definitely over the last several days. Like suddenly I have had more phone calls and more video calls than I have had, like, I'm gonna say, for at least the last 6 months. I have done more webinars, like as in sat in on a webinar and been a participant, and I even myself will be throwing webinars next week. I have sat in as a participant on so many webinars, done more webinars over the last week than I have done in an entire year. Like the amount of connection right now, it's a lot. And in fact, I'm like, every time someone says to me, let's have a call, I'm like, oh really? Like, cause I would say that I got used to texting and phone calling, other than client calls, which are not as much, they are not as abundant right now. Calls, I'm just not used to talking on the phone as much. And I come from a generation where we did talk on the phone. So first of all, when I was born, the type of phone that we used is a phone that would go, like for example, 4, you'd go, and then 7 would be, that was the phone that I used growing up until Pulse was invented, and then it was so exciting to go 4, 7, like really exciting. And cell phones weren't invented until I was like in my early 20s, yada yada. Anyhow, the number of phone calls I'm doing, I don't mind phone calls as much right now because they allow me to multitask, like do things like fold my laundry, hello, or cook dinner, since I'm cooking a lot more than I normally would. But the video call, oh my goodness, the video call, you know, it's an interesting thing for me. It's been fascinating. I have found that, first of all, I'm doing them a lot more with the clients too. I like don't really care really how I look in this moment, because I'm doing my best to shower, kind of wash my hair, wear something somewhat presentable from the top up anyways. And then I'm doing a truckload of video calls with my friends. But on video calls, here's something that I have observed. I'm fascinated by 2 things. Like I'm listening to the person talk, kind of. And what I'm actually doing though is I'm taking a look at where they live. Like I'm like looking in the background going, that's an interesting bookshelf. Look at all those books. And I wonder if they read all those books. I wonder if they're just posing with those books to make themselves look smart. Or what's that a painting of? Or like what's going on back there? So I'm like literally analyzing all of the details of the person's home. And the second thing that I'm finding is that I'm finding it very difficult to not look at myself, and not from a, oh, look at you, you're so beautiful. I mean, like, why does my left eye do that? Or is that how I really look? Or like, are those more lines? And like, I'm trying to be body positive, yada, yada, but still, it's like, I can't help but like, be like, why do I look like that? Or why am I doing that? Or why is the lighting so bad? It's been a really interesting experience. And then on webinars, the same type of thing. I will admit that I multitask a lot on webinars, and so I'm like, be a participant and listen. And sometimes my mic is obviously always muted, but the video, I'm like, if you're gonna multitask, take yourself off video. Anyhow, all of these platforms are really interesting ways for us to remain connected. But like anything we do, like exercise even, I think each of us needs to decide how much is enough, how much is too much, how much do we need, and more. And I'm constantly tuning in. Like sometimes I had a stack of calls scheduled for Sunday night, people wanting to connect, which I was so happy about, I love. Sunday rolled around and I actually didn't feel like it Sunday evening. And frankly, none of my friends did either, because a lot of them didn't reach out to me. So all of those planned calls, none of them happened. And I think that's because a lot of us in the moment think this is a great idea, and then the time comes and we're like, I'm fucking exhausted. This COVID business is kicking my ass spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, more, and all of that. So tuning in is everything. Anyhow, if you have been finding that you are developing a new relationship with phone calls, video calls, and webinars, you're not the only one. I'd love to hear what you think. As always, feel free to reach out, message below, send me a message across social media, and as always, thanks for watching. I'm so grateful.